Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Lewis, editor of Building Enclosure. Thanks for listening along with us today. Coming up on November 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a free webinar, Sustainable Roofing Made Simple. Andrea Wagner-Watts, Building Science Education Manager with GAF and CPLAST, and Rick Kyle, the Director of Green and Amenity Business for CPLAST, join me today to chat about what to expect during the upcoming webinar. Andy and Rick, thanks for sitting with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So to kick off, what do most sustainability goals look like when it comes to the roof?
Andy, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So sustainability when it comes to a roof can cover a number of different facets. And that's really the point of this webinar, is to give an overview of all the different pieces that can apply, such as energy efficiency, reflectivity, circularity of the building materials. And so that you as a designer can understand, depending on your project sustainability goals or resiliency goals, which ones matter, and you can make a decision based on that. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, of course. Sustainability, I think a lot of times has a propensity to focus on products, or at least some of the existing rating systems out there. And like Andy said, as you know, as we look at these projects, and it's really project specific dependent, but it's not only the products that we're using to construct the building, but the resiliency of these products, their life cycle, and the overall impact. And then how can we, as we venture just above the membrane, what additional maybe design considerations can we incorporate into the project to help meet other sustainability goals as well. So as we get further away from the membrane and talking about vegetated roof or amenity deck or things of that nature, what additional benefits can we start getting that contribute to sustainability with regards to the project?
So with all that being said, what are some best practices when it comes to specifying a roof assembly that meets these goals?
The first recommendation that I usually start with is make sure that the properties that you are specifying can be third-party verified, that you're not dealing with greenwashing from a manufacturer, that the things such as the EPDs and HPDs, recycled content, come from a verified third party and aren't just, oh, we're going to claim this as a one-off. Additionally, calling out the intent of your material, or the intent of the material as well as the intent of the project. So if you're looking for a specific rating system, or you want all the materials to be red list free or meeting some declare goals, if you include that in your specification, it makes it a lot harder for a material to come in as a substitute and compromise your project objectives.
Now, looking at increasing roof energy efficiency, what are some types of products that help us in that area?
I think again, and it might vary depending on the location of the project, but when we start to look at the membrane, does white reflectance help us get their SRI values? If it's the membrane in particular, perhaps single ply membrane, or if we're a buried membrane, looking at solar reflectance, or starting to bring down maybe urban heat island effect through the use of vegetated roofing.
Now, can you guys discuss different overburden options? How do they differ?
So overburden options really are going to depend on a couple of different factors, right? What's the programming for the structure or the building? What's the owner's intent for the space? Do we have municipality mandates in place? Either, if we reference local law 9294 in New York and the requirement for green or PV, and then how do those all co-play together? A lot of times we have vegetated roofing, and then we have accessible areas adjacent to it as well. So there's the programming, and then there's a municipality mandate aspect of it that will play. And sometimes there's a little bit of a push-pull.
Now, will you be discussing different sustainability documentation during the webinar, such as LEED, Living Building Challenge?
We will. We'll talk a bit about the documentation for LEED, Living Building Challenge, and we'll also talk a bit about WELL documentation and how different materials can play into helping you achieve those goals. And we'll also give you some pointers as to where you can find this documentation.
During the webinar, it says that you'll be chatting about protecting building occupants too. Can you chat a little bit about that?
So all of these assemblies, whether we're talking about sustainable assemblies, resilient assemblies, or a roof on any building, their number one priority is to keep occupants warm or cool, depending on your climate zone, and dry. So what we're going to be talking about is taking that baseline concept and adding in the resiliency and sustainable design components to take our buildings and our roofs to the next level.
How about case studies? Were we chatting about that at all during the webinar?
Oh, yes. I think we learned best from looking at projects that have already been built and what they have achieved. So we have a LEED and WELL project in Boston that we'll be talking about. We have a Declare assembly that was used in Iowa, and we hope to have a few others plugged in there as well.
All right. Lastly, I want to ask, what else will attendees learn on November 20th?
We're going to talk about other aspects of sustainability that Rick kind of already highlighted, that you may not always take into account, such as reducing waste through maintenance programs or protecting your membranes in other ways, such as under overburden, so they don't get damaged and deteriorate as quickly. And looking really at durability and redundancy in addition to what may be called out in these certifications. Anything else you'd want to add, Rick, on that?
No, I think a lot of it has to do with the right products for the right application in the right location. And so taking, all of the variables into account, and then to, how we maximize the potential there to make the project as resilient and sustainable as possible.
Well, thank you again, both, for your time today.
Thank you, Lindsay.
To register for this free webinar, head to continueducation.bpmedia.com. Until next time, visit us on buildingenclosureonline.com for your technical and educational resources.